What's up? What's up? What's up, everyone? How are you on this Thursday morning? Y'all, we're making it. We're making it. We're doing good, y'all. We're making it. We're making it. I see you. I see you, Valerie. I see you, Deborah Johnson. I see you, Adrian and Marion. I see you, Shirley Nicholson. What's up, people? What's up? Talk back to me. I see you, Dr. Latrice Washington. What's happening to you? I see you, Regina. I see you, y'all. I see all of you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I got to tell y'all about this. This is orange juice, straight orange juice, nothing added. I'm still, I got to get these stitches out tomorrow. So if anybody's have ever experienced stitches being removed from your gums, I need y'all to tell me what that's going to feel like. Good morning, Kim Edmondson. And right now, y'all, the strings and stuff are hanging like, and it's driving me nuts. So I get these out tomorrow. So we're going to see how that works. Good morning, Kim. I see Kim and Kim. Good morning, Tracy Burrs. But listen, this right here, straight orange juice. It's straight orange juice. But I was getting coffee this morning. I just got to tell y'all this. I got to tell somebody this. Good morning, Kenny Stanley. I was getting coffee this morning. And my husband had already gotten his coffee. And he was actually at the kitchen counter drinking his coffee. He was. Like, it just smelled so good. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get some coffee. Because I'm not really a regular coffee drinker. I'll do like celery juice. That's me. I'll do things like that. Water. What's up, Dan? What's up? Good. He says, Dan Hook says, good morning, people. Good morning. So y'all, I was getting my coffee, right? Now, my husband watched me. I see you, Dr. Antoinette, coming in here, getting my coffee. And I go to get the cream. There is zero cream. And I said, the cream's gone? He said, oh, yeah, I took the last little bit. We've been married for 31 years. And you know that I'm only going to drink coffee with cream. You watched me pour this, make the coffee, pour the you watched me. You're going to wait until I'm finished and say, oh, yeah, I took the last little bit. Now, y'all, I'm not mad that you took the last little bit. Just say when you see me getting my coffee mug and say, hey, by the way, there's no cream. So, y'all, this is just straight orange juice, but I wanted some coffee. I just want to tell, I don't know why I told you that. I just want to tell you that. The doctor said removing the stitches should be a breeze. I had my wisdom teeth removed in my 20s. Girl, I'm 57. Is it going to be a breeze at 57? And I don't know why I'm nervous, but I can feel, y'all, because it's on the top. I can feel all the strings. I promise you, I probably have swallowed a couple. It's just crazy. It's crazy. I see you, Dr. Annette. I see you, Hester. I see y'all. All right, y'all. Today is Thursday, September the 22nd, 2022, and it's time for today's headline news on News in Motion. Whether you are watching live right here on Facebook or on YouTube or on LinkedIn, I just want to say welcome to you. If you are listening to the audio, y'all know the rules. Keep your eyes on the road, or if you're in the office, keep your earbuds in. Don't laugh too loud. Don't shout in the job place. We don't want people knowing what it is that you're doing, but we want to say thank you for all of those who may be watching the replay. We want to say thank you as well to that. We do have a guest that should be in the green room real soon here. We have a lot of questions to be asking him. I see you, Lori Wallace, and so I can't wait. What's up, Latrice Jones? Y'all, guess what? Hello, fall. Hello, fall. Y'all, it came in when y'all, it was 91 degrees yesterday in Central Ohio. This is a part of Ohio's weather. Then it started raining. This morning, it's a crisp morning, and I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited about it. Y'all, listen, this is sweater and boots weather. So my hashtag for the next few weeks is going to be hashtag sweater and boots. Hashtag sweater and boots. Y'all see our guest that just popped in the green room. We'll be getting to him in just a little bit. I see you, Judy Neal. Kim Edmondson. Hello, fall. Tracy Bird says, I'm with you. I like a little coffee with my cream. Well, I want coffee, but I wanted my cream. Yes, Latrice Jones, it is sweater weather. Say that real fast. What's up, Yvonne? What's up? What's up, Adrian? What's up? All right, y'all, some quick headlines. And I have an amazing guest who's going to be joining me in just a few moments. I want y'all to get y'all's pen, paper, y'all smartphone, tablet, whatever. I see you, Pastor Alex. I want y'all to do all of that. Because we're going to glean from this young man. And I'm going to say it this way. We're going to glean from this young Black man who is extremely powerful and knowledgeable when it comes to election. He is an elected official. So I can't wait to bring him on in just a few moments. I see you, Mary Jenkins. Deborah Johnson said, I love Chris Paul. I do too. See, when I leave, when I'm done here, it's Daddy Day today and tomorrow. When I leave here today, I'm gonna go by Starbucks and get me the caramel apple spice. Now that drink will make you just, Marion Jackson says, if the strings are hanging, this shouldn't hurt. You'll just feel the pulling sensation when they take the remaining stitches out. I don't like you, Marion. I don't want no pulling sensation. These are 25 stitches up in here. But anyway, all right, y'all. Hey, it was a good day yesterday. Trump sued for fraud by New York Attorney General. I shouldn't be that excited about that, right? Listen, it'll catch up with you. Donald Trump, his family, that's the 3 children, Don Jr., Eric, and Ivanka. They're all adults, lied to lenders and insurers for more than a decade, fraudulently overvaluing his assets by billions of dollars in the sprawling scheme, according to the lawsuit. Yeah, that happened yesterday, y'all. That happened. Yeah, AG Leticia James is the bomb.com. And I put it on my story yesterday on Instagram. That song by, what's his name? Montel Jordan. This is how we do it. Yeah. He falsely inflated his net worth by billions of dollars to unjustly enrich himself and to cheat the system and thereby cheating all of us. That's her direct quote. She goes on to say that the former guy, she didn't say former guy, I'm saying former guy, manipulate the value of assets. Y'all, did y'all see what he valued Mar-a-Lago? Like 728 million, and it's really like 72 million. Yeah, all of that, y'all. All of that, y'all. All of that. So she came out and she said, well, I'm willing to negotiate. I just love her demeanor. Now you all understand why I said, I think it was either earlier this year or late last year, why she was no longer running for governor. She had to finish this up. All right, y'all. Then he didn't have a good day yesterday. No. The Associated Press reports in a stark repudiation of Donald Trump's legal arguments, a federal appeals court on yesterday permitted the Justice Department to resume its use of classified records seized from the former president's Florida estate as part of an ongoing criminal investigation. The ruling from a 3-judge panel of the U.S. Court of Appeal for the 11th Circuit amounts to an overwhelming victory for the Justice Department, clearing the way for investigators to continue scrutinizing the documents as they consider whether to bring criminal charges over the storage of the top secret records at Mar-a-Lago. So he didn't have a good day. He did not have a good day. Well, neither did she. Y'all, New York Times is also reporting that Jenny Thomas, hello, Jenny, Justice Clarence Thomas's wife, has agreed. This is going to be interesting. Dr. Antoinette, Annette, all of y'all, we're going to have our real mimosas, our popcorn, our candy, our pizza, whatever, to watch the upcoming. It's scheduled so far. Right now, they're shooting for next Wednesday. Hello, yeah. So she pushed over to overturn the 2020 election. The committee requested an interview with Ms. Thomas in June after it emerged that she had exchanged text messages with Mark Meadows, the White House chief of staff, in which she urged on efforts to challenge the Joe Biden victory in the 2020 election. Y'all, all of this is unrolling. Yesterday, I was like, what is popping off today? Then somebody say then Alex Jones, who, he's already been hit with millions of dollars. He says he was not wrong about the Sandy Hook shooting on purpose. Take a seat, dude. Take a seat. Now, he's a conspiracy theorist. Alex Jones is being called to the stand in his defamation trial to determine how much he owes for spreading the lie that the Sandy Hook school massacre was a hoax. Now, Judge Alex Jones, then calls the judge, this is coming from CNN, called the judge a tyrant. What? Dude, you haven't been charged. You haven't gotten your amount yet. I don't think I would do that quite yet. Not yet. I would think I would wait on that a little bit before you start doing stuff like that. But y'all, all of this is in the news. All of this is circulating everywhere. All of this is happening. And we have the most important midterm, I believe, in our lifetime that's coming on November the 8th. And early voting will soon be upon us. So y'all, I have an amazing gentleman that's going to be joining me. We're going to talk. We're going to be real. He's going to tell us the truth. I'm telling y'all, he is up and coming. He's doing marvelous right now. He's powerful right now. And I can see him in greater seats sooner than later. And I mean every word of this. I had an opportunity to meet him the second primary night in Columbus, Ohio. So I'm so excited to have him on the show today. Isaiah, if you can bring in State Rep Dontavius, I would greatly appreciate it. What's up?
Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
Good. Good morning. I know it's early for you, but hey, you can handle it.
I can handle it. This is not the earliest I've been up before, so I'm good.
I love it. I love it. I want to tell our audience, y'all, he's State Rep Dontavius Jarrells. He's currently serving his first term here at the Ohio General Assembly and is running for re-election in House District 1, which includes Berwick, Bexley, Bronzeville, downtown Franklinton, German Village, Milo Grogan area, and the south side of Columbus. Now, growing up in the is it Hugh neighborhood?
The Huff neighborhood.
Huff neighborhood. Okay. You know what? Sometimes my system will rearrange the words and it came up HAU, my fault. A neighborhood of Cleveland. He first saw firsthand the lack of affordable housing, safety, education, employment, and other essential services on families. After nearly a decade fighting for disadvantaged and marginalized communities across Ohio, Representative Jarrells is committed to advancing common sense legislation, thank you, God, to make Ohio a better place to live, work, go to school, start a business, and raise a family. During his first term in elected office, Representative Jarrells introduced legislation to increase Ohio minimum wage to $15 an hour, eliminate discriminatory covenants.
Yeah, discriminatory covenants, redlining.
Yeah, I see it. From deeds during property transfers, removed derogatory language within the state's code, and brought millions back into the district and Franklin County. I'm just so excited to have you here. And I want to start off there. And I want y'all to hear this. The viewers here, there's been many who have expressed an interest in running for office. There's been many who have expressed the issue of how do we attend these town halls? How do we attend and put legislation or talk legislation with the committees? What do we need to do, not just here in Ohio, but all over the United States? So I want to start, though, with how can those here in Central Ohio who are tuning in, how can they support you in your reelection campaign?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me on again in this honor. I see all the chat, all the comments from folks. Hey, everybody, how y'all doing? What I will say is if you go to, I have a website. It is jarrellsforohio.us. That's jarrellsforohio.us. And it's a couple of things that's there. First thing is you can register your vote directly from our website, get you to the link and register your vote if you have not registered yet. Second is if you live in my district, as you beautifully mentioned, almost all the cities, there's actually an interactive map where you can go on and see exactly where you live in relation with whether you live in a district. And if you live in a district, vote for me on November 8th. But of course, I tell everybody, it takes money to move this campaign forward. And so we have you'll get hit probably multiple times with ask to, chip in $5, chip in $10, small dollar armies that we have. It works. and it allows us to communicate to the over
Mhm.
119,000 people that need to hear us and hear about the work that we're doing in the state of Ohio. So go to my website, jarrellsforohio.us, and looking forward to
Dot
hopefully
us,
connecting
not
with you.
gov. I'm sorry, we have that up there wrong. Jarrells for Ohio dot us, US.
Dot us, yes,
Okay. Okay,
dot
we'll get that
us.
fixed. We'll get that fixed. Okay.
Beautiful.
There
There
you
it
go.
is.
Oh,
Thank you.
well, I took it away. There it is. Okay.
Boom. There it is.
So wow, thank you for that. And what
Mhm.
one thing we try to drive home here on News in Motion, that it can be a dollar, because if 19,000 people give a dollar, that's $19,000.
Come on, come on, come
We're
on.
just we're talking about that, and we're trying to really get people to move beyond just voting and
Right.
actually understanding the vote process,
Yeah,
participating in the voting process. I was sharing with people earlier this week about canvassing, and that this weekend and next weekend are the two crucial weekends to get out and go
absolutely.
door knocking. And so, do you have that here on your campaign? And if anybody here in Central Ohio wants to sign up, do they go to your website here?
Yes. So there's a couple of ways to actually get involved. So we have a coordinated campaign here in the state of Ohio. So if you're interested in knocking doors wherever you are, whether you're in Central Ohio or in any part of the state, you can go to Ohio Democratic Party's website, and they have places where you can sign up right where you are, so that you can help out the candidates in your area. The one thing you did say that I thought I wanted to lift up is you're absolutely right. Moving beyond voting is going to require us to not just get involved, but to use our dollar, use our voice, and hold our elected officials accountable. I say that all the time when I'm out in the community. Hold
Yeah.
me accountable. If there's something I'm not doing, talk to me about it. Or if there's something you need me to do, talk to me about it. I can't tell you how many events, letting folks know, like, this is, I work for you at the end of the day, and the
Mhm.
individuals who you elect work for you as well. And so making sure that you understand that there's no barrier. Like, we don't all exist in an ivory tower.
Mhm.
We literally are in the community, and many of us are reachable, and you can find us and talk to us. And so I just want folks to know that I'm a pretty
Mhm.
accessible elected, partly because, one, it's my job, but then two, it's simply the right thing to do to bring their voices with me into the state house.
I love that. Thank you for that. So, look, if I can move in, because I know Pam, who connected us, is said that you'll be perfect, and just look following you over the last few weeks. I'm like, he's the perfect person to be on News and Emotion.
Thank you.
There are so many people who find themselves intimidated to even write a letter
Yeah.
or to reach out to their representative. How can you help them navigate around that to show them the importance of making that connection?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that the first thing I'll say is, don't be scared, don't be afraid, regardless of, if your person is responsive or not. It is in
Mhm.
your right to communicate your feelings, your thoughts, your perspective, your ideas to those who are in elected office. As I mentioned before, we work for you, and it's important to have that in your mind as you're engaging us. You can even say, you know what, you work for me. Yeah,
Right.
my tax dollars pay your salary. And so what I want to get to, like, some of the absolutes about how you can engage. So every government is different. Every elected official's office is different. But at the end of the day, tell your story. Talk about what's impacting you. And so, for example, I'm a lead poison survivor. And so, if you wanted to advance lead prevention policy, right, what you would do is you would write about maybe a significant other, a son, a mother, yourself, who were impacted
Mhm.
by that issue, and ask what's being done. And if nothing's being done, here's some suggestions to move the ball forward related to lead. I'm just using it as an example. And
Okay.
so there's so many ways that we can get involved, but the biggest way I will tell all advocates, all of our community, is that just share your story, be honest and truthful, and real about what you're experiencing, so that the folks in leadership, the folks who are
Mhm.
elected, truly can understand the magnitude of why you're sharing your voice, so that they can take action.
Wow. So thank you for that. We've been talking about stories here on News in Motion for a couple of years. And one thing that has been asked of me several times, and I don't know how this worked, so hopefully you can answer this question. Once they share their story, who has access to that story? Is it just a representative?
Mm,
Could it include the aides? How far can this story circulate? Because some people are saying they may not want their story all the way out there with their
mhm.
name attached to it.
And I would say, it depends on. So I'm gonna use the example. So we had some folks reach out to me, my office, related to sub minimum wage, and I'm gonna blow y'all mind for a second. I don't know if you knew, folks knew in
Blow it.
Ohio.
Tell us.
So sub minimum wage in Ohio is where an individual with a developmental disability could be paid only $4.25. And there's over 90 companies in the state that does it. And we're $4.25 really is not a lot of money for anyone, let alone someone who may be struggling with additional needs. And and I remember having conversations with folks earlier in my term about changing laws on the books related to developmental disabilities and making sure that our Ohio Revised Code is filled with respect. Because we still have the R word, for example, still in our books. And I remember this individual who is employed. She has Down syndrome, and she spoke beautifully about her, you know, what she experienced growing up, the bullying, how she is now, she's not, she's someone who has Down syndrome. She does not let the development disability define her and her story.
Mm,
And I remember sharing this in testimony, and there was not a dry eye, because again, legislators connect to people when they face and overcome obstacles, but then two, when they are courageous enough to say, I want my story to be heard because I don't want someone else to experience what I experienced, or I want something to change in our policies that may be detrimental to me or my family. And so your story can go only to direct answer your question directly. It can go only to me as a legislator. It can go to my aide, or it can be take a life on its own and create the changes that we need to see in our state and our country. Literally, her story is the reason my bill is in the Senate, making its way hopefully through to become law, right? And so those are the things that, like, never doubt your story and the impact it will have on others. And so I encourage folks to share it.
I love that. Thank you. So when you talk about common sense legislation,
Yes.
unpack that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
So I call.
for as constituents, we may think all of this should be common sense, but in
Yeah.
reality, it's not, right?
Right. Right. I mean, so for folks who may not know what I do in the state house, it's a I play defense and I play offense. I play defense against bad bills that could impact our life. And so, for example, all these bills related to critical race theory, or all these bills related to um, creating more barriers to access and unemployment supports, um, such as unemployment supports, eviction supports, what have you. So I'm always sometimes I got to play a lot of times I'm playing defense against the majority party to make sure that bad bills don't become law. But unfortunately, some bad bills do, and so we have, for example, in Ohio, we have um, a bill that permitless concealed carry, so you don't have to go through the education to conceal and carry a gun in Ohio anymore. That was a law of the land that we fighting a back on. The other piece is advancing laws that actually make sense, that actually help families thrive. And so, for example, my first bill was raising the minimum wage. My second
Okay.
bill was addressing the historical impacts of redlining in our country and in our state. In Ohio, in fact, we never had on the books a statewide law banning redlining until my bill was turned into law. And so when we talk about issues and laws that are common sense, they're common because Democrats or Republicans or independents, wherever you fall on a political spectrum, it makes sense to have these bills a part of our community, because it makes our community better. And so I always say either common sense or dinner table issues, as I like to also say, because these impact everybody, regardless of where you live, who you love, zip code you're born in, or your political identity. These are bills that everyone wants um, to see happen in the state and in the country.
Got you. Got you. Thank you for that. Got more questions? You got time?
I'm here. Let's do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, good. When you're talking about, when I was reading this, after nearly a decade fighting for disadvantaged and marginalized communities across Ohio, I want to get to the disadvantaged and the marginalized communities, but I
Yes.
also want to tie that up with the need for poll workers for this upcoming election.
Hmm.
I know even in August, one of my family members came face to face with this. They went to a polling location that morning. There was a sign on the door letting people know that they didn't have enough workers and they had to move them to
Hmm.
another location, which was about 2 blocks over.
Yeah.
But there were so many people who were either being dropped off or who had they're not living far, so they were on their walker or cane. So the community came together to help take those individual people to that polling location, whoever was there, and then bring them back so that their loved ones, whomever, can pick them up. But what do we do about that? Because that is happening. Those are the locations that I'm seeing that are closing first. So when you talk
Mhm.
about fighting for disadvantage in the marginalized communities, how can we come alongside of you to fight this battle with you? Number one, and number two, what do we do with these polling places and the need for poll workers?
Mhm. Yeah, so two big questions, and I want to make sure I thoroughly answer this. I'm gonna break it up. So I'm gonna start with the polling um, question first. For folks who do not know, you can go to your local board of elections, so wherever you are in your county, and here is the Franklin County Board of Elections, and they have a poll worker sign up. It is so important that if you have time to be a part of the political and civic process, excuse me, please, please, please sign up and be a poll worker. It's so important. Um, I've seen so many groups come together and, to your point, and create a kind of a Google sheet of folks who said, you know what, we want to man this polling location for our community. Obviously, you got to be there at like 5:30 or 4:30, and you have to go all the way until after 8 o'clock in that day. But for so many people, every time I come in, I bring donuts or I ask folks, how's everybody doing? They're so just illuminating with pride, because folks, they see their family, their neighbors come in and vote and do their civic duty, and it's really awesome to be in a part of that process. And so go to your local county board of elections, sign up to be a poll worker. It's going to be amazing. The second question is a little more challenging as it's nuanced. I always tell folks I'm in the trenches every day, right? Where the community is, because I need to bring their voices with me into the state house. And the biggest thing that I do, and the biggest thing I'm proud of, to be quite frank with you, in my first term in office, is we brought over 50 student groups into the state house. These are young people who've
Okay.
never seen the state house ever beyond driving past it. And what I would do as an elected official, I have the ability to do this. I can bring in all of the young people into the chamber, where they see, like, kind of, they can look around and they can sit in the seats where legislators are, and they can see for the first time their power in real time. And I say that because if we want to fight for marginalized communities and build up our communities, the first piece is a policy piece, which I'm working on. But the second piece is we got to change the mindset of our young people, so that they can see that they are powerful in their fullest selves now, as human beings, and we want to amplify their voices to change our communities around them. And by bringing them into spaces where power is happening, where whether the city council, or city hall, where the mayor is, whether it's state house or even Congress, bringing our young people into those spaces plants a seed in them that they can, one, be in those spaces, but then two, use their voices to change policies for the better. And so I'm really big on making sure that we are bringing our young people in these spaces so that they understand that they are more than enough.
I love that. Thank you. I have two millennial children. I believe you know one of
Mhm.
them. One
Mhm.
lives in Atlanta, one lives here. And my daughter that lives in Atlanta and her friends, her group of people, I get in conversations with them all the time. And they call me Mama Gail. And they were like, Mama Gail, look, we did, we listened, we voted in 2020, but where's our voting rights? Or what's going on? All these promises, and
Mhm.
they become exhausted, and they also become very discouraged, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a way to keep them encouraged, but I understand their frustration. So what would you
Yeah.
say to any of us dealing with this issue or coming face to face with these conversations, whether it's in our churches or
Mhm.
neighborhoods or just different associations and so forth? How can we continue to motivate the millennials and the younger people? And I love what you're doing here with bringing those 50 student groups to see it through their lens. How do we continue to motivate them?
Yeah.
Because I tell them sometimes, there's more than just that. There's more than just this branch of government. There are
Yeah.
three branches of government, and these things are happening, and it has to go through a process. But I think for some of us, we're losing the millennials. Can you speak to that, please?
Yeah, as a I would say I'm almost a close to a millennial. So one of the younger lawmakers in the state, not the youngest. That's one of my colleague, Representative Latina Humphrey. Um, I try to meet again where our young people where they are, and just have conversation and really unpack that we don't exist in ivory towers. And
Mhm.
there were young people who elected me in office, right? A fellow young person, because at the end of the day, we're going to inherit whatever conditions this world is going to be in.
Yes. Yes.
And so it is important that if we want to see difference or see something changed, that we mobilize and elect people who have our values and our understanding and are willing to push for those conditions and the changes of conditions. And so, but it's hard to do that when you're having young people who are struggling to make ends meet. It's hard to do that when you have young people who are, fighting addictions and mental health. It's hard to do that when you have young people who are just dealing with life.
You went to mute, I think. You hit your mute button. I'm sorry. We can't hear him.
Can you hear me now?
Okay. Then now, okay, you're back, it seems like.
Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. Uh,
You're okay. I can hear you now.
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. We
All right.
can.
I
So you
don't know
talked
what
about
happened
the
there.
young, we lost you right after you said the millennials who
Yeah.
are trying
Yeah,
to get their money and everything.
yeah. When they're struggling to make ends meet, the same thing I say to myself is, you know, you know, we have the agency to change our environment, and it's going to take. I mean, just be okay with making one change a good thing a day, right? Like,
Right.
how do we begin to build momentum in our life to change the reality of our life, right? And what we
Yeah.
want to see. Statistically, I wouldn't shouldn't be elected office, right? I shouldn't be in elected office, bearing all things. But one, I have an amazing God, but then two, I have people who poured into me, who told me that I was capable of doing something beyond my wildest dreams and expectations. And I say that to young people all the time, and they always
Mhm.
don't believe me. I'm like, you do. I'm a
Yeah.
walking testament of that. And so I just, our young people, we're inheriting the earth. We're inheriting this place. And so it is important that, our young people see that, yeah, it may not be the change that we want to see right now, but changes happen overnight. Unfortunately, it's incremental, and we all have to just play our part, continually support those uh, who we value, who say share our values,
Mhm.
and celebrate the wins, because there
Yeah.
were some wins. I'm elected. There's other folks who are elected who share similar values, and yes, we may not have been able to maybe get a you know I like Joe Biden's, but getting someone who maybe have been younger into office, for example. But
Yeah.
it's about setting the tone for young people in leadership so that they can again bring those policies and perspectives to places where change is actually happening.
Wow. I have one more question for you, if that's okay. And
Yeah.
then I'm going to encourage people to get behind you and support you. And I'm going to even raise you some money today. Uh,
Thank you. I appreciate
how
that.
can how would you encourage people, and like you said, some of the younger people to actually run for office? What
Oh
what would be
yeah.
those encouraging words? Because so many people are afraid of that.
Yeah, I would tell you. I mean, there's a couple of tips actually. I want to do both, two things.
Okay.
So I started my political journey when I was 22 years old, and I did not run for office or anything like that, but I got I worked in the state house as a legislative service commission fellow, and it was one of the best times of my life. But also, I didn't get paid a lot, and it was a struggle at times to make ends meet. But I learned in the state house that I knew I learned where the bad things were and how to really assess policymakers and to see who's effective, who's not effective. What
Mm,
can I do differently? How do I tailor if I was in this space? How would I navigate this environment, right? Um, and so when I first started, like I left the state house, and both during that time I was at the state house. I'm gonna go back. I got really involved with an organization called the Ohio Young Black Democrats. And I
okay.
would urge any young person who's really interested, whatever political affiliation you are, to get involved with the young groups that are in the county, in the
Yeah.
city. So if you're young Dem or young Republican, whatever you are, just get involved because that's where you will find so many of your peers who are like-minded and who are moving in the same direction. And so I found my tribe, if you will, of folks who are all moving in the same direction and we can learn from one another. And so through that process, I became a president of the organization and traveled around the state building chapters, talking to Black young people about running for office. And we got some young
Wow.
people elected along the way because we mobilized us, right? We were the army, the foot soldiers going into places and saying, we can literally through sheer will get this young person in office. And that's what we were able to do. And so the second thing I want to say is get involved, help somebody else, right? Learn from their
Yeah.
campaign, learn how to navigate a campaign, working on someone else's. That's what I did. And then when it's time to run, it's easier for you to navigate those environments because
Mhm.
one, you have the relationships, which are
Yeah.
incredibly important. That's what politics is all about. And then two, you have the understanding of how to navigate and move in a way where you're playing chess, not checkers.
Yeah.
And so as young people, we become less afraid when we know the environment and how to navigate. And so get involved. That's how I started. And 10 years later, I was elected. Now 10 years sounds like a lot of time, but it's not. It went by so fast. I wish I can go
Mhm.
back to my 22-year-old self and figure out a faster way to get there. But it was literally just work and understanding that you got to put in what you're willing to get out, right? If you want to be elected, you're going to have to put in some work. Much like you're going to play, be an athlete, you got to go into the gym and make
Mhm.
shots, or you want to learn how to be a statistician, you got to go in there and keep doing calculations. You got to put in the work to be elected. And if you're not afraid to put in the work, you're not going to be afraid to get elected. And so that's what I would say to our young people, because it is possible and so many have done it. And I know they can do it too.
Gosh. And of course, I do this every now and then, so don't be upset. Can you just give me 60 seconds on what you mean by mobilizing? I know what you mean, but I want the people to hear
Yeah.
this because some people I think miss that. To me is one of the more important ingredients. So can you give me 60 seconds on that?
Absolutely. Being able to bring people together. I mean, that is what mobilizing is all about.
Mhm.
Whether it's through a common value, whether it's through a policy, whether it's through how you have served and how people are willing to be a part of that service. Mobilizing allows you to uh, one, share your story and the stories of what you're trying to do with others, because other
Mhm.
people are kind of, they're all, they've said to themselves, I want to share the good news with other people about the work and about what's possible. And
Mhm.
so, people mobilizing is what we typically do in campaigns, and because it really is about mobilizing people to vote, mobilizing people to understand that they have agency and power, and mobilizing folks to believe that you, or the policy, if it's an issue on the ballot, it's important that they use their voice. And so there's kind of three levels of it, but the biggest thing of all for young people is just to come together as young people to say, what can we do to change the conditions of our community, and then go out and do it.
Love that. Again, y'all, we've been hearing from State Representative Dontavius Jarrells, who is currently serving his first term in the Ohio General Assembly and is running for reelection in House District 1. Again, it includes Berwick, Bexley, Bronzeville, downtown Franklinton, German Village, Milo Grogan, and the south side of Columbus. Y'all know here on News in Motion, anytime I bring on a guest, and I can tell from the chat, y'all just absolutely loved him. It's time for us to put our love with a dollar sign. So what I'm asking y'all, y'all know I'm an ordained pastor. I'm gonna raise some money right now.
Yeah, come
What
on,
I
come on.
what I would like all of us to do, Isaiah, if you can put his website back up, can they give through the website, or do you have another mode of us giving?
Yeah, so there is I have an Act Blue link on my website, and so if you just type in uh, jarrellsforohio.us, you can literally, the first thing that pops up is likely my Act Blue, and you can just go there and just donate, or you see a big donate button on the website.
So just y'all, we
But
gotta
yeah,
donate. We gotta donate. Now I'm going beyond a dollar. I'm asking us to start with. I'm getting ready to mess y'all up. I'm asking us to start with $25, and if you want to give more than that. News in Motion will also be given to this campaign as well. But I want us to support this young man and the work that
thank you.
he's doing. You have heard him just in a very short time share a lot. And I want us to give support. Now, if you live in Central Ohio and you have an opportunity to join his campaign, to volunteer, please do that as well. Go to www.jarrellsforohio.us and sign up. You can
Yeah.
write postcards, you can knock on doors, you can make phone
Mhm.
calls, I'm sure. But more
Yes, you can.
importantly today, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm not saying you can do all those things. And I think the biggest thing, and sorry, let me cut you off. The
No, go
biggest thing
ahead.
of all is that this election is so critically important. We always say every election is
This
important,
one is.
but this election right
Yes.
here is the most important. So your auntie, uncle, cousin, brother, mama need to be out voting, because
I'm telling
it is so important. I mean, we have Supreme
yeah.
Court races on the line. I mean, everything's on the line for this country and for our state. And I just want folks to understand that we are at
Yeah.
a critical moment in our history, that the
Yeah.
decisions we make at the ballot box impacts the conditions in the community that we're gonna live in.
Absolutely. I've been saying thank you for saying that. I feel like you just confirmed a lot that I've been saying here. I think they're getting tired of me saying it, but I keep saying this is the most important midterm election of our lifetime. I really
It
believe,
is.
and I've been feeling that way for at least, I don't know, 8, 9 months, if not longer. So thank you for saying that. Y'all, again, poll workers are needed. We do not want anything to interrupt anybody from going to the polls. So we need all these polling locations open.
Mhm.
Yes, it's going to be an extremely long day. It's going to be a long day, but please do it. That's your civic engagement for the year or for the next 2 years. Please do that. But I'm really asking you, yes, Valerie, research and know what you are voting for.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
Absolutely do that. Please do that. Y'all
Can I
read.
say one? Oh,
Go ahead.
go
No,
ahead.
just
I was gonna say one more thing real quick too, because I want to make this on my spirit. October 11th is the deadline to register to vote, and
in Ohio.
so in
Yeah.
Ohio, and so if you live in Ohio and you know people who are not registered to vote, they have until October 11th to register to vote. Other
Yeah.
states may have different dates, but it is so important that they are registered, because early vote, because you can vote early, y'all. It's October 12th. That's when it starts, at least in Ohio again.
In Ohio.
And so again, early vote starts in October 11th in Ohio. I'm sorry, October 12th in Ohio, to register by October 11th. And you can go to iwillvote.com definitely to register.
Yes, and you can also go to his website. He shared that as well.
Sure can.
We try to give y'all a mixture of these. And if you run into anything, there is a voting rights hotline that we keep showing here. And then there's also the election protection that we continue to show here as well. I'm sorry, Isaiah, I kind of took over the links. My fault. Keep going. But anyway, Isaiah's like, you're on my boards. But anyway, y'all, this is important. This is serious. But I want to go back to something. I don't want to miss this, y'all. I want us to give to his campaign. Please, y'all, give to his campaign. If Isaiah, if you can put his link up again, please. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Please give to his campaign. And y'all, actually share this. And y'all know what I say, regardless of where they are. You can give to campaigns. If you're in Baltimore, Maryland, you can give to this young man's campaign. If you are in Atlanta, Georgia, you can give to this young man's campaign. If you are in Washington, D.C., you can give to this young man's campaign. And I say that going back to when I introduced him. I've been paying close attention to him. Adrian Gaddish has told me to pay attention to him. Pam has told me to pay attention to him. I met him. It was real late that night when you came in to Lincoln Cafe.
Yeah.
And so just been fun. I said, wow. I said, I don't know where he wants to go next, but mayor, governor, senator, president, all of that can happen. He means everything he says. His contact, his people connection, his authenticity, and y'all heard him earlier talk about, he's a believer. All of that is behind him. So with that, here's my quick inspirational message before I sign off with him. Y'all, I believe that God is going to prosper this young man, and I want us all together to be in agreement. For those of us who are followers, you all know who I am by now, been over 2 years now. We know we have people who are not believers who tune in, and we thank you for hanging out with us. But I just believe God is going to prosper you. And this inspirational message, y'all, is to always speak life to someone that you see greatness in. Even if not greatness, but you see that there's potential there. Speak life. So I just really want to speak life to you this morning, because there's a lot that God is about to do with you and through you. And I'm also going to pray your protection, that even attacks won't even be able to touch you. Regardless of what weapons are formed, it's not going to happen. So I want to say thank you for joining me today. This will also, y'all, if you missed any of this will be up on the podcast for next Friday. So Friday, September the 30th, this piece, not the entire news, but this piece will be up there. And I want y'all to share that and to share this, y'all. He gave us a lot of information today. I'm behind you. I'm not in your district. I'm in Delaware County, but all of my rest of my family's in your district. So I will be talking to today, and there's several of them that are on tuning in today. But thank you so much. And I wish you nothing but greatness. I pray nothing but God's prosperity upon you and favor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, everybody. That's News in Motion for today. Join us on Monday. We have more to talk about on Monday. Y'all know what I say. Stay well, everyone. And remember to make some bold moves. I'm out.
No.